everyone, and welcome back to another very special episode of the Talking Mode. Since today is Vietnamese Teachers Day, I'm your host, Caroline, and my co host is
Sarah. Hi. Today's episode is special, not because it's Vietnamese Teachers Day, but it's also because we have our first guest speaker.
So our guest speakers for today's episode is an English teacher at Trần Đại Nghĩa High School for the Gifted. She is a salutarian of English department at Ho Chi Minh City University of Education. She has several years of teaching, writing for the school's National Excellence Students Exam team. Here to share her teaching career, the journey of joy, hardships, and achievement. Please welcome Ms. Nguyen Thi Thanh Tam.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me join this special episode to celebrate Vietnamese Teachers Day.
Thank you for joining us.
We're so honored to have you here on the Talking Mode. You're actually our first guest speaker.
Yeah, the first interview ever.
It's my pleasure.
Before we get into the questions, we're going to have a warm-up sessions. So here we'll get to know you more on more, I guess, like intimacy levels. Say, what's your hobbies, and some fun facts about you that you would like to share, to the audience.
Okay. So to begin with, I'm very proud of being a typical Capricorn. And if you see on my Facebook post, I usually post about zodiac posts related to Capricorn. And let's say I'm ambitious, practical, and job-oriented person. Now let's talk about my hobbies. My biggest interest is traveling. I usually travel with my husband and my son, sometimes with my sister too. And I'm the one who always makes plans for the trip to make sure everything goes as planned. My favorite color is blue. Whenever I buy clothes or any accessories, I will subconsciously pick blue items rather than other colors. Another fun fact about me is that I can crochet. And this is one of my products.
Looks really like one of the outfits that you wore on your Facebook account. Like the color, I can see like it's really represents you.
Yeah, I'm really into blue stuff. Yeah. So basically, I don't like crochet clothes like most of other people. I like to make stuffed animals, stuffed dolls, and I also have a Instagram account where I post my products.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all about me.
Yeah,
So-
me and Kang was just talking about today about the punch needle. I don't know anything about crocheting and stuff, so it's very cool hearing you, share your hobby aside being a full-time teacher. Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I've heard that you are a Capricorn, right?
Yeah.
So is there any like stereotypes, about Capricorn that you usually heard people saying that it's maybe untrue about you? Like any stereotypes about Capricorn, being a Capricorn?
So far, every information about Capricorn is definitely true about me. So I'm really proud of I'm really proud when I say that I am a Capricorn, because it matches 99.99% true about me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Because then, Sarah, like Caroline and I usually have this chat about, how stereotypes, like zodiac sign stereotypes. And sometimes we find that because we're the same zodiac, both of us are Geminis. And so,
I have a very interesting story about Gemini. No, not story, but experience about Gemini.
Oh, what is it?
What is it?
My best friend, one of my best friend, she studied with me in elementary school, and now we're still keeping in touch with each other now. She's in the United States. and she's a Gemini. So back to when we were at elementary school, I'm really like a very energetic, outgoing person, and she's really reserved. But when we grew older, everything like reversed. I'm becoming an introvert person. But her major is fashion designer, so she's like becoming more and more like an outgoing person. So we change our personality. That is my very she and I also realize that changes in our personality, and I think that is very interesting to have a Gemini friend because we compensate our strengths and drawbacks with each other.
Wow. You know, so Caroline, you really must, see if we change over the course of years, like if we switch personalities. I think it's
Yeah,
a fun thing to think.
I just think like even though like we are both Geminis, I feel like we are severely different in some areas because I typically don't enjoy going out that often. Yeah, I enjoy staying at home and doing my thing, while Sarah is more outgoing and she knows a lot of people. Like she's very popular, but like I'm here in the little corner doing my thing. So yeah, even though we are both the same, like zodiac sign, we have very severely different. Yeah, characteristic, but I feel like that's why we compromise each other so well. But yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so just a few facts about you, but it makes us get to know more about you, more than just your stellar achievements in nurturing the bright minds of the future. So now let's get to the questions part. We have two parts. The first part is going to be some of the questions relating to your teaching career, and the second part will be some of the questions that we consider like classroom dilemmas, and your job is to solve them and tell us your thoughts and opinions. If you were in that situation, what would you do? So let's start with the first part. So so how did you know about us? Like, do you know about the talking mode before you're invited here on in our episode?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when I came across your channel, but I saw your account being suggested on Instagram when I was browsing through my feed. At first, it was a sense of familiarity as I saw your faces on the thumbnail. My curiosity was aroused, so I just clicked on your account and started exploring. And I was really taken aback because that was the first time I had ever seen my students running a podcast channel to raise their voices about contemporary issues around them. I thought, wow, they are openly sharing their opinions via professionally edited videos, which I didn't dare to try when I was at your age.
So we had a lot of because we had a lot of doubts raising this channel, because we're just like two-person, not really sure about editing or like photos and stuff. We like to talk, so that's the thing that we just hold on to that, and we kind of grow our channels just on the fact that we like to talk.
But you have done a really great job so far.
Yeah,
thank you. And we're trying to grow our YouTube to better, but we hope that it will not turn into our career, because this is something that we would like to besides our studying. And so yeah, so we joke about it all the time, like it being our career for after high school.
Maybe.
Yeah, think about that. That would be so cool.
Because you have you have experience in doing so, and you will make your channel more professional.
Wow, hopefully. Yeah, thank you. Just so that's more of a question about, how you came to know about us, but now let's talk about you. So, having been a teacher for so long, I'm curious about, the initial motivation, why did you want to, or why did you decide to become a teacher? Yeah.
Honestly speaking, my family has at least 4 generations of educators. From my great grandfather, my grandparents, my aunts, my father, and then me. However, my family members didn't say anything to encourage me to go into teaching. But when I was a kid, probably in elementary, I started imitating my teacher by wearing my aunt's áo dài, putting on her high heels, arranging my classroom with teddy bear students, and started teaching them math. Besides, I was lucky enough to study with awe-inspiring teachers who helped me to realize my passion for teaching. When I was about to graduate high school, my mother wanted me to study economy-related fields, and it would support me financially later. We did have a small conflict because before I wrote my application form to university. At that time, I asked myself the question, who do I really want to become? And surprisingly, my answer was undoubtedly a teacher. And now here I am.
So up until now, have you ever felt regret about the choice that you made?
Among my life choices, this one is, I think, is the most precise choice that I have ever made, and I never regret about it.
Wow, that's very cool. Because my mom had a dream of me becoming a teacher, I don't have the talent and the patience to, because I do teach my brother sometime at home, but I don't have the patience to deal with his business. So I thought being a teacher might not should suit me well. But hearing your story, makes me curious of, what motivates you to keep going. Are there some, memorable memories with your students that, just kind of keep you going and keep the fire within you ignite? Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, when I was in high school, my high school is in high school for the gifted, and I have the opportunity to study with awe-inspiring teachers, not only in English but also other subjects, because they show they motivated us and they show their dedication, devotion to the teaching. And when I study at university, I also have a chance to work with other professors and lecturers at university. So I had a lot of opportunities to develop myself. And when I stepped into our school, my colleague, uh, and my friends also helped me a lot to work with our lovely students. So I can say I am very lucky to work with great friends, great colleagues, and great teachers to nurture my passion for teaching.
That's very inspiring. I feel like it's a very long journey, and you have sort of overcome a lot of obstacles as well, hardships. People saying that it's not suitable or it's not gonna give you the financial balance that you're gonna need for your further life, but you still fighting for your passion. And I think that it's something that we could all learn from you. Your passion in knowing what's who you are, who you want to be in the future. So so for the future, students who wants to be teachers, do you have any piece of advice that you would like to share to them?
So to answer this question, let me share you a small story. I have met thousands of students, and each of them somehow left a long-lasting impression on my career. In my first year teaching at our school, I was in charge of a 10th grade class. As I had just graduated from university, I thought I would be as strict a teacher as possible because I wanted to run a disciplined class. So I was really hard on them, sometimes so hard that I felt there was a gap between us. Gradually, I realized being too strict didn't work for class management, but it was even counterproductive as my students seemed to no longer look forward to my lessons. So therefore, I tried to be more open-minded, listen to their wishes, and sympathize more. It surely didn't mean that I became an easygoing teacher, but I started learning to become both a teacher and a friend to my students. Now there are still some students from that class keeping in touch with me, and we maintain that long-standing relationship for several years to come. So I don't have too much experience and too many years of teaching to give advice, but from my point of view, if a teacher wants students to respect him or her, respect them first. Try to put yourself in their shoes, sympathize, and have a positive attitude once you step into the classroom. That's all.
Yeah, that resonates with me very much because, I'm kind of more of a stubborn student, you might say. So, if when I first stepped when I first attended your class, I was very surprised because you were very outgoing in a sense that you made me feel like you were actually my friend. And every single trend or every single story that was viral in our teenager life, you knew it. So that's yeah, it's very thoughtful and meaningful to me, and so that's why it makes me very look up to you, firstly, but also really respect you as a teacher, and yeah, very love you as a teacher also. Yeah.
Thank you. Because I used to be a student too, so I
Yeah.
experienced a lot of student life issues. So when I become a teacher, I can see the problem. I can see the students' problem. I can somehow empathize rather than sympathize their problem. And I want to I want to become not only the teacher but also the friend, so that I can listen to my students' wish and help them as much as possible within my ability.
Right. So I think that the lesson on, earning and creating respect, it's something that we should all learn, like not just those who wants to become a teacher, but I guess that in my own experience when working in groups or, in teams, it's respect is the one thing that bonds us together. It the one thing that helps us, listen to others and, be able to discuss the ideas together and not, attacking on a personal levels. So I think that it is a very great advice, not just for those who wants to become a teacher, but those who want to succeed at being a better human being.
Exactly, because being a teacher doesn't mean we are superior to our students. Because when teaching at high school, especially high school for the gifted, like our school, teachers also learn from students because you are very gifted, not only uh, in academic life, but also other like life skills, soft skills such as photography or other interpersonal skills. So we teachers can also learn from students. So why don't we respect each other and then learn from each other? It is like a two-way benefits.
Thank you for your, sharing a very insightful and, meaningful advice about your teaching regarding your teaching career. So now we're going to part 2 of today's episodes, which is classroom dilemmas. This is very interesting. We haven't tried this one before. Okay. So for this part, we have 6 questions. And we have already labeled them from 1 to 6. So you're going to choose randomly, and then we're going to tell you a dilemmas, and you're going to solve it for us.
Okay. Let's start with my favorite number, 4.
Okay. Caroline, do you want to read out question number 4?
Okay, so here's a scenario that is, I think, quite complex. So imagine like you have a best friend that is also teaching at the same school, at Jenegi High School for the Gifted. But she, for example, maybe she teaches physics. And you know, she is known for having very hard, like exam questions, very difficult and very lengthy questions. And also, she also has opens extra classes for students to come join. But you know, she is also known for um, raising scores for those who attend her extra classes. And so, you know, in this case, what would you do with the other students who don't attend her extra classes? Like, am I clear on that? Are you clear? Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're a homeroom teacher, and then say I run to you and I said that, oh, Miss ABC is raising scores for those who attend her extra class. And so if you were her best friend, what would you do? Would you report it to the school? Would you confront your best friend, or what? Yeah, what did you do in that situation?
In my opinion, I will separate my teaching life and my personal life, because everything related to teaching is very sensitive, and I myself only concentrate on how to make my students understand the knowledge, and I don't care about other stuff. Like if this happens to my best friend, if there were students approaching me and tell me all about this, I will ask for more evidence that if my best friend really does so, and if within my ability, I will have a small talk, like a friendly talk with my friends, and just like some chit chat with other personal stuff and teaching stuff, right? And I will not give any advice or any judgment, because that is her job, and I don't have enough information to judge her, right? So I just listen, collect information if possible, and have a small talk with my friend in a very friendly way. Right, that's all. Because that is her job and that is her responsibility, not mine. Right. My responsibility is help my student. Right. Everything related to my student with my my skill of delivering lessons, or my anything related to my teaching skill, I will be responsible for it. But with my best friend, I cannot.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way of solving this situation, because sometimes even as we are caught in the middle, like we have to pick sides. Say we have a group of three, and then we know, so like a group of three best friends, and sometimes just caught in the middle, whether you have to pick side, whether I side with Caroline or I side with Becky, and then it would just turn this whole relationship into a mess, because we sometimes think that we have too much authority on deciding what's right, what's wrong, what should be done and what should not. So yeah, I think that next time if I'm ever caught in that situation or in some similar situation, I'll listen to your advice, and move on with doing what I do.
I think the most important thing is to concentrate on ourselves. We have to do our job. We'll try our best to do our job, to complete our job without concerning other problems related to other people. It's not like it doesn't mean that we are irresponsible or we are indifferent to other people, but we just concentrate on our own responsibility, and with any other irrelevant one, so let's just hear and let it go.
Yeah, like at least you try, to have a small talk with her, and that signaling that you have gone beyond your capability to maybe help her and try to talk her out of that. But at the end of the day, that's not our business, and we shouldn't try to fix the person or
That's correct.
characteristic. Yeah, I really resonate with that. Yeah, thank you. That is a wonderful response.
Thank you.
All right. So now you're left with 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Which number will you pick?
So that means I have to answer all of 6 questions, right? Or
No, you only have to do like 4. So
four.
yeah.
Okay. So I will pick number 3.
Okay. This is a very fun one.
And a very sensitive one.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's try this one. So as you all know that sex education, it's a topic that's very underrated, at least in the Vietnamese curriculum. And so supposing that you are walking on a schoolyard and you come across, let's say the school doesn't have proctors, it's just teachers and, just you and the students. Say you come across this couples where the girlfriend is being harassed by the boyfriend, physically, verbally, mentally, anything in any forms, in the corner of the schoolyard. So what would you do in that scenario?
Well, it will depend. It will depend on the level of harassment. So if it at a very serious one, I will try to get involved in it and try to save her as much as I can. But it's because it also depends on the student themselves. But I will see if they are my students or not. If they are my students, well, not only my form class, but also all the classes or other classes that I am in charge of, I will definitely help her, right? And if they are just like doing sensitive things like hugging or kissing, I will just keep my eyes blind and walk away. But if they have unsuitable touching or something, I will talk privately to their form teacher. It's not like I am like a bird told me that, but not. I just want to help my student, and I will talk with their form teacher, and I believe that the form teacher will have appropriate reaction to that problem. So it depends on the level of the level of seriousness of that situation. So we'll have appropriate reaction to this.
So I have a follow-up questions. So you know that on Netflix and other like streaming platforms, there is a series called Sex Education, which is very popular among teenagers. So what's your reaction towards teenagers, like even your students are watching that series? Do you think that it's beneficial for everyone, or is it like isn't worth their time, or it's too or it's too inappropriate?
Actually, I haven't watched that series, but
it's very revealing.
Yeah. So students nowadays have more access to those programs, and it will have like the coins have two sides, so it will have the drawbacks and merits of this issue. Like I also read the reviews of that series, and many people say that it is very informative, educative, because it helps students to have to broaden their mind about sex education. But because I haven't watched the series and I don't know the exact content of that series, so I think that if students want to watch any series, there should be the responsibility of parents to guide them, right? Because it will one side on one hand it will help them to broaden their mind, but on the other hand there would be it will be counterproductive, because it will provoke their how can I say, their inner like ego. Right? So
Yeah.
they will do something that we cannot expect. So I think that the first thing first, parents should have like there should be parental guidance for them in this situation.
So, Caroline, I've seen that you've watched it from
No, I haven't.
from
haven't
the
seen
comment
it
you
yet.
made. Maybe you've watched it. So, do you have parental guidance with you when you watching sex education?
I mean, I don't have a parental guidance, but like, I feel like with this kind of age, like especially when we are entering the like adulthood, I feel like I have enough how to say uh consciousness,
Responsibility, consciousness,
yeah,
yeah.
enough, yeah, awareness so that I can, because I also read some posts that say that this particular series brings various informative, like you said, information on, the rather unpopular topic of sex education. And so, when I watched it, I was also taken aback by the amount of, yeah, it was very revealing, but at the same time, yeah, I understand another aspect of this topic that I wasn't taught about in at other areas. Yeah.
Yeah, it also depends on the viewers, like a high school student, like you also have your responsibility when you get access to those series. Like so, it I really appreciate individual's responsibility because parents cannot follow you 24 over 7 hours a day or any time. So it is very important to have responsibility for what you are doing.
Yeah, thank you. Let's move on to another question. So you have 1, 2, 5, and 6 left, I believe.
Okay, so let's use number 6.
Okay, so number 6. So in this scenario, imagine that you personally believe in collectivism, like you personally have a stronger attitude towards collectivism compared to individualism. But as you know, nowadays students are exposed to individualism more frequently and at a younger age. So I believe that they would gear toward individualism more compared to the older days. So imagine in a scenario where you believe in collectivism and you think that the approach of collectivism is more suitable, but then your students believe that individualistic approach is more appropriate. So in that scenario, what would you do and what would you use to judge or to kind of solve that scenario? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So it could be any situation as long as you have a belief and then it's differ from that of your students and there's a clash.
Yes.
What would you
I'm
do?
very open-minded teacher, and last summer I have a chance to participate in a teaching training course where they have a course about different cultural or lifestyle or perceptions towards life, and they also mentioned collectivism and individualism. And I think that whether collectivism or individualism is not my concern. It's not my a big problem to me, because obviously there will be students who are very collectivist or who are individualist. As long as I believe that as long as they have their responsibility, they finish their work, they're on time, they collaborate well with other students, and they respect others. So I think that is not a big problem to me, because I like I said before, if you want students to respect you, you have to respect them. Respect you means respect their belief, their religion, their like their viewpoints towards life. And so collectivism and individualism is also belongs to those aspects, and teacher have to respect them too, right? As long as they as long as they have their responsibility, right? And they work well with other people. So that's not a big deal to me.
Um, I think that because, Caroline and I, we were, in a lot of debate competitions, and sometimes, we've not reached to the part where we have our own, say, opinions, and we have our own views, but then whenever we discuss this, we kind of want to defend ourselves, and sometimes it leads to the point where we just don't want to listen to others, and it's kind of like we just get into like there's like a defense mechanism where we just blocks all others people ideas, and we want to be, I wouldn't say like authoritative, but like sometimes it kind of be like that, and we kind of impose our opinions on others, and it's just create a huge mess. Like no one listens to anyone, and it's just, and even I think that even happens when we're in a relationship with a bigger, like those who are older than us, like our teachers, our parents, our grandparents. And I think that, I guess it's different when we're in like a family, because they loves us, and they wouldn't mind that. But with someone who's not bloodlined, or like they're not related to us, it kind of get into that way, like it's a mess, like a twist, and no one listens to anyone. And I guess that taking your advice, learning to know what's the ends, not the means. I guess it's kind of like, I mean, like the ends doesn't justify the means, but I guess it helps in the situations when we know the purpose and we strive for it, rather than caring about how we're going to get there. How about you, Caroline? What do you think?
And also, I just want to add, like, that's also, I feel like, the responsibility of a teacher, because, there are many situations when there would be conflicts in terms of opinions and concepts and beliefs. And so I feel like teaching a student or teaching anyone to respect others and respect other maybe conflicted ideas to yours is very important. And I really like your approach to, to first teach the students to respect, and as long as they respect and as long as they have responsibility, then I feel like the other problems will be solved. But if they don't have responsibility or they don't have respect, then the problem will get even more complex, because when students grow up and they get older, it's hard to teach somebody to impose your ideas, or even though those ideas are right, it's hard to make them believe something. And so I feel like the role of teacher, especially in today's society, when there are just too many opinions, like a million people can have a million different ideas, and so it's respect, it's both ways, and it's very important. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Because like so you are still at high school, but when you step into the outside world, there are a lot of kinds of people, and they have thousands, millions of opinions that conflict with your with your viewpoint. And I think that, so when I become older and older, I realize that their opinions doesn't affect my life anymore, because so they have different opinions, I have my opinions, but as long as I do I try my best and I do my job well, and that those opinions doesn't have any, those opinions don't have any effects on me. Because every day when you go to work, when you go to school, you will meet lots of people, and they have lots of opinions. So just listen and choose what will work best for us, right? And they give their opinions. Okay, good, so I will listen, but I will like it to make it affect my life or not, it's my decision.
Yeah, because like we cannot please everyone. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, Sarah.
Okay, so you're left with questions number 1 and 2. So which one would you pick?
1, 2, and 5 also.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, and 5.
Okay, so let's go for number 1.
Okay, so this is very common situation. Now we're learning at home most of the time, and so I guess that you often heard students' excuses when you call on them, like sorry, could you repeat the questions again because I was out, or I was in the restroom, or I was taking a drink, I was eating, I was there's all sorts of excuses. Or like my mic is, there's something wrong with my microphone, or my connection, it's lagging. So experiencing that for almost a semester, what's your strategy in combating students' excuses? I mean, like some of them are true, but like some of them are just made up, and they don't want to really engage in the class. So what would you do?
Well, because we are studying at home, so there would be like no way to justify their excuses. So I just believe them. Basically, I just believe them, and I will based on their scores, because like you say, you see that from the beginning of the semester, I have a lot of tests, and I also have some secret strategy to manipulate the classroom and also manipulate the students' attitude towards the class. So basically, I just believe them. Because, like I said before, there will be no way to justify the excuse. So because this is their life, and this is their study, and they have to be responsible for their study. And if they don't have right attitude, the consequence will come to them, not me. Right? So I just believe them, and the outcome, that they will see the outcome.
Right. I think that sometimes, because I've tried teaching young kids English through online platforms, and sometimes it really annoy me how they made up all sorts of excuse just to leave the class early, or like not study at all. And sometimes I just feel the need to expose them. And so you're like, come on, I know that your connection is fine and things like that, but I guess that is true too when learning, it's a two-way kind of. You teach, but the student needs to, they want to be they want to be taught, so that works. But if you are the only person in that kind of relationship, then I think that it doesn't work, and you feel like, and I guess that there's no need to keep pushing them for something that they don't want to do. But like, do you feel like we should there have some measures as to tell them, like, it's like to help them learn, like to be more active in class? Because for some of, say, we're talking about senior students, but if it's like younger students, what would you do? Like, it's really harder. Sometimes it's we cannot just leave them be that way.
Teaching kids is really a challenge to me, because I have several years of teaching kids at elementary school, and it really drove me crazy sometimes. So for teaching kids, it is very important to get them involved in a classroom by playing. You cannot deliver your lessons with grammar points, tiring grammar points or vocabulary, because they won't listen at all. So let's adapt your lessons to a more imaginative way by doing crossword for teaching vocabulary, doing word search. This one can be applied to senior students, not just kids. And we can also make full use of like webs on the internet, because there are a lot of webs providing games for grammar. So you can share your screen and ask your students to participate in the game, and I'm sure that it will provoke their like attention, concentration, and motivation. So so all in all, the most important thing for teaching kids is letting them play in the form of learning.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that
thank
works. I think that works for older students too.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
because my 12th grade student really like word search. Every year I have a very thick book of word search and hidden pictures, and at the beginning of every class I will hand out 1 or 2 pictures for them to play, and then collect them to give them bonuses. It's too bad that we are learning online, so we cannot do that. But when we meet offline, I'm sure I will give it to you and make our class more exciting.
I look forward to that.
Me too.
Thank you for a very lovely response. Really appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
So I guess that concludes our last questions for today episodes. We really appreciate your effort, your time in conducting this episode with us, and there's nothing that we love more than to give you like the best wishes on this Vietnamese Teachers Day. Wish you health and happiness, not in your life and your future. So from us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me today, because I really like participating in students' activities, because I like I said before, I'm trying to be a teacher and also their friend. So I will become their friend as much as possible within my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we will have more episodes like this in the future.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes, because then we already given like a hint to some of our friends, and they were like very, very eager to know who is it, and they all guessed, and then like some of the first guess was like your name. So I guess that really, really looking forward to us having you.
That's my name.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I really look forward to the day we release this episode.
This Saturday, like at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, I will share it online.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. We hope you who are watching this video have a happiest Teachers Day, and also if you're not a teacher, be happy too. So until then, stay tuned, stay safe, and
Stay awesome.
stay awesome. Bye.
Bye.